There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on. Hello there, I'm Jessie Stevens.
I'm Claire Stevens.
And you may know us as a patron saint of lazy gills.
Yeah, that's one thing about us is we're really exceptionally lazy.
And we've identified a problem, and that's that lazy girls have it really hard in life. They pay a tax, such as they're always being fined because their car's in the wrong spot. Click and collect. I never collected it. Go and get this from the post office. Well, I shan't. And next minute, you've lost, $500 and everyone's angry at you.
So we thought it's Christmas. Lazy girls love Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the laziest Christmas giveaway ever.
Because there's lots of giveaways around. But it's like, 25 words, fill out this form, call a number. Absolutely not. And that is fundamentally unfair that lazy girls happen to not win prizes because they like free stuff just as much as anyone else.
They just don't have the energy to enter a competition. So
which is why
we are doing 10 lazy girl giveaways in 10 days.
10 days of Christmas, they call it. And you might say, isn't it 12 days? Well, no. Only 10 because lazy girls don't work on weekends. So it is 10 weekdays, lazy girl giveaways. We're talking things like $1,000 Uber Eats voucher.
A robo vacuum that mops and vacuums your house so you don't have to.
They're the prizes you'd actually want. And you don't have to apply. And you don't have to apply. Because for Mamamia subscribers, you are automatically entered into every lazy girl giveaway. So if you're a subscriber, you literally don't have to lift a finger. But you might be saying, well, I'm not a subscriber yet. Are you telling me I have to do something? 25 seconds. Become a subscriber and you will go into the running to win these 10 prizes and lazy girl giveaways going forward.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever.
For the full list of upcoming giveaways and to get your name in the draw for everyone without having to do nothing, head to giveaways.mamamia.com.au.
T's and C's apply. We know you won't be reading them, but we had a glance in there. Fine.
Merry Christmas. Hello and welcome to Cancelled, the podcast that looks at silly celebrity crimes and assigns charges and sentences to them so we can all move on with our lives.
There's just a lot of... Is that called reflux?
Yeah, I'm severely pregnant. And I can't get through a sentence without something.
That was, it's really boring for the listeners actually because that was me for like 2 trimesters just burping into the microphone. It's like, it's not their fault. They don't give a shit that you're pregnant.
They're not
it's
here
just
for
like,
me.
Yeah.
No.
Like edit it out, you know?
Sorry. I'm Claire Stevens.
And I'm Jessie Stevens.
And Jessie, do you have a lazy girl story for us today?
All right. And this is one of our favourite genres, and it's when it has to do with lazy gill dogs.
Oh, okay.
So this is from Rachel. I have a lazy girl story. We probably don't need to read that every time, but we do.
No.
But this lazy girl is my dog, Millie.
Okay.
She's so lazy that after I give her a bath, she just stands there, too lazy to shake and get the bulk of the water off her coat. She just doesn't move and it's dripping. So I have to use extra towels and a lot of energy to dry off my sopping wet dog.
Lazy girl.
She's a lazy girl.
Sent from my iPhone because lazy girls do email on the go.
That's like Caesar. So my dog Caesar is an old boy.
He's an old boy. He's a big woofer.
He's a big old woofer and he's grey and he has given up in a lot of ways. And
happy enough, but he's given up.
Yeah, and after a bath, same thing. There's a lot of dripping. There's a lot of mum, get that towel. You can individually dry my hairs.
And dogs love that. They love a big scruff around the neck and stuff. But it is like, you've got to meet me halfway because there's excess water that you're meant to shake off and I'm meant to stand around. But to actually just look at you and go, no, you think about it, you can't make me shake. So I won't.
I have considered getting a hairdryer, but I think it will scare you.
It will. It will.
Jessie, on today's episode, we're talking about Chris Hemsworth.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, how are you? Please welcome
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Hey,
He is an Australian actor. He gained notoriety in Australia playing Kim Hyde in Home and Away from 2004 until 2007. Before that, he had like a cameo in Neighbours.
Okay.
But the big breakout role was Home and Away. And then he began a film career in Hollywood. The man seems to have gone straight from Home and Away to a role in Star Trek.
I'm initiating General Order 13. We're evacuating. Yes, sir.
Okay, similar vibe with Margot.
Yeah, I don't know what happens in this
It's like
transition.
there's a scout. You know how there's like scouts with sport? I don't know because I've never been scouted, but I've never even been anywhere where a scout would bother to go. But it's like a scout watches Home and Away and goes, I'm going to pick one.
To do a big thing.
A big one.
Not
Or
a
Neighbours.
little
I can't
one.
remember what Margot was on, but she was on one of them. And it's like they watch it and they go, that Chris, we'll take him.
He's got something.
And we're not going to give you a role in a little indie movie.
Yeah.
Like just bam.
Which it must be hard for someone like Bo Brady. Remember him?
Yes.
Because he was on at the same time as Chris Hemsworth. And
was.
it's like, why not me?
Maybe he said no.
I don't
Maybe
think
they
so.
said, are you it? And he said, no, I'm happy with my lot. Our producer just did some Googling. We're going to do some fact checking. We're talking about misinformation. Bo Brady has done a movie and it's called Voodoo Lagoon. I would imagine it's a masterpiece.
I really want to watch it.
Voodoo
I
Lagoon.
wonder what he looks like now. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
I like that.
I love
like that. Well, Chris Hemsworth somehow gets into Star Trek alongside Chris Pine, Winona Ryder, Eric Bana.
Wow.
And it's like, what?
yeah.
How
Big
did that-
swing. Mm.
How did that happen? He went on to star in movies like Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yep.
The Queen's going to kill me.
Sure she is.
She's going to rip out my heart.
You want her? Hey!
And then The Huntsman Winter's War, which was the sequel that rated even lower.
Okay.
Rush.
Talking about the race in Spain that I won.
Yeah, in a car, which is not legal.
5/8, 7 inch too wide. You know that doesn't have the slightest effect on speed.
Really good movie.
I haven't watched that.
Racing car movie. I'd say it's Chris Hemsworth at his best.
Okay.
Red Dawn, Men in Black, International, Ghostbusters, and Extraction. But he is most well known for playing Thor in the Marvel Cinematic
I was going to say
Universe.
Hulk. Big, strong superhero.
No, Thor with
a
his
weapon.
hammer.
A hammer, okay.
His most recent role in Thor, Love and Thunder in 2022 established him among the world's highest paid actors.
Love that.
Hemsworth is married to Spanish model and actress
Elsa.
Elsa Pataki, who glows. She came into the office once. Jesse, do you want to describe what you saw?
Oh, it wasn't a human being. She came into the office and...
I was like, oh yeah, Elsa Pataki.
Elsa
like,
Pataki, Elsa
yeah,
Pataki.
we're fine.
Oh, wow. We're not of the same species. I don't want to objectify the woman because she has a lot of skills and talents. She has a beautiful, beautiful accent. But I've never seen that. I don't know what it was.
She had an aura.
She had an aura. She looks like she's never eaten naughty. She doesn't have
dirty
Pepsi Max like us.
No.
She just, her skin, her hair, like she was just, and then she wanted to get a photo with everyone. I was like, fuck no. I am not getting in that. No. Her walking around getting photos with people is rude because it's like, I'm not resharing that.
Mm-mm. I don't want to be
I look
seen
terrible.
next to you looking like a mere mortal.
Ugh.
But she is something else,
Yeah.
is what I will
Oh.
say about Elsa Pataki.
Yeah.
They live in Byron Bay and they have 3 kids.
Every time I'm in Byron Bay, I look for them
Yeah, obviously.
and I've never seen them.
No, but some people have.
They have
Every now and then you hear of someone who say,
going,
I was in Byron Bay and I saw him on the beach.
and you're like, there he is. And they see Matt Damon too.
Mm-hmm. So they have a daughter, India, and twin boys, Tristan
Ooh,
and
I
Sasha.
love twins.
Yeah, there's a story about the twins. Chris's 2 brothers, Luke and Liam, are also actors,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris is the middle child. It's just something to keep in mind.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Mm.
I'd have thought he was the eldest or the youngest. I have very positive feelings towards Chris that I've examined during that intro. I don't think you can cancel him.
We'll see how we
Okay.
go. Okay.
He seems lovely.
Jesse, you might look at Chris Hemsworth and think the man is perfect.
Yes.
And that would be understandable.
Mm.
But it's a rainy day. It's not. It's quite sunny outside.
No, it rained last night.
So we've decided to drag the man to court for reasons that include curiosity. My structure for today is as follows. Home and Away, Feet the Saddle Club, Dancing with the Stars, Ruining Byron Bay,
No.
a controversial birthday celebration, and Making Flops when he's not being Thor. Home and Away, Feet the Saddle Club. I get the sense that now Chris Hemsworth is Thor, he thinks he's too good for Home
That
and Away.
says more about you than it does about him.
After he left the show, he remarked that although he became more visible after Home and Away, His work on a soap opera did not earn him respect within the film industry. And to that I say, no shit. Jessie, let's go through a couple of his storylines and then I want you to watch just a moment.
Okay.
He played Kim Hyde, who arrives in Summer Bay after his father Barry is appointed principal at Summer Bay High at the start of the school year.
So far I'm following.
Yeah. They don't get along.
Him and his father.
No.
So what are you going to do? You make me repeat a year again? How's that any different at last school?
Don't push me, kid. Like, don't push me, Dad. If you do, you know I'm going to push you back.
He quickly befriends Robbie and embarrasses him in front of his girlfriend Tasha, played by Isabel Lucas, when he questions Robbie's virginity. The moment is interrupted when Noah, played by Bo Brady, wipe out while surfing. Kim dives into the sea and saves him. Robbie and Tasha are impressed, suggest he joins the swimming team.
This is good.
His ex, Brooke, returns, telling him he's the father of her son, Charlie. Every time.
Yeah.
Kim's furious.
His dad won't like that.
Well, he's furious because it turns out his dad knew.
What?
Yeah, about the child. But then he grows to love Charlie. But then it turns out Charlie is not his son.
You are not the father.
It's a 1-2 punch.
It is. He then drops out of school, begins working at the gym. And then he re-enrolls after Noah's death. Noah dies. Bo Brady dies.
Oh.
Yeah. And he participates in a memorial concert.
Okay.
Then a girl called Matilda takes an interest in Kim. And she feigns drowning to get his attention.
Because he's a swimmer.
Yeah, only for it to backfire. And she does end up struggling for real. I think that ends up fine, but Kim gets his driver's license and takes a camping trip with Robbie and Tasha. Robbie steps on a needle and fears he has contracted HIV.
I'm sorry, but that is actually not unrelatable.
Kim supports him, but their relationship becomes somewhat strained when Robbie's behaviour becomes erratic. And I just want to know if that's to do with the HIV. During this time, Kim becomes close to Noah's widow, Hayley Beck Cartwright. And they have a brief fling.
Seats taken.
Yeah.
That's the song that she sung.
Yes.
Oh, I love Beck Cartwright. We don't talk about her enough as a culture.
No. Then Kim starts dating Eve, who is using the identity of Zoe. When Kim returns from the city after a break, he is alarmed to learn that Eve has apparently died and was the Summer Bay stalker.
Guess you didn't see this one coming, hey? Can't believe how stupid you all were to not figure it out sooner.
His next big shock is that Hayley is pregnant and he is possibly the father.
Oh, don't fall for that one again.
No. Hayley breaks up with her boyfriend, gets together with Kim, proposes, but on the day of the wedding, she discovers she still loves her ex. And it turns out that Kim's not the father of that baby.
No.
You are not the father.
Because he gets into a car accident and the blood actually shows that it doesn't match the baby.
Oh, wow. And this is, I mean, we've said it in the courtroom before, but bitches be cray.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting pregnant and making
blaming-
life chaotic for men,
Blaming
it's
it on other
just,
people.
exactly. They get pregnant and it's all a bit of a roulette. You never really know if you're the father, do you?
It's always a mystery. So, Jessie, that's just some of his storylines.
Yeah.
I want you to watch a clip and tell me if you think this is a man who can act.
All right, so I'm a Hollywood executive producer
Yeah.
and I'm a scouter. I'm a scout.
Now, let's start with a clip from Neighbours where Chris Hemsworth plays Jamie Kane.
We've been robbed.
What? But just now?
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't you press the alarm on the desk?
I don't know. I was just too freaked out, you know. I just didn't think.
Are you all right?
Yeah,
Oh, my God. Okay, can we try and reenact that? Can you be the person who says we've been robbed?
Yeah. Action.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. We've been robbed.
What?
We've been bloody robbed, and I know who did it.
Who?
This guy, Mitch.
Oh, well, you know what I'm going to do? 000. Call the people. We've been robbed.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before.
Stunning acting. I think he doesn't over-egg it. He doesn't over-egg it.
He doesn't overact, I'll tell you that.
No.
Actually, he does in the first bit where he goes, we've been robbed. The whole thing is just actually the other woman. He just keeps touching her face. It's like, that's quite over the top too.
But he's very,
the emotion's wrong. Yeah.
It's like frustration rather than worry.
Yeah.
But here is a clip from Home and Away where he's playing Kim.
So I was thinking maybe we should go for a surf.
Rob, you can't surf.
That's right. Okay, how about we go to the gym for a workout instead?
You go if you want, I'm fine.
I know what you need. A game of pool. It's been ages since we've played. Come on, let's go.
No, you don't have to do this.
Wait, no. I actually think he has something.
Here's what I think about Chris Hemsworth in both Neighbours and Home and Away. He is brilliant by comparison.
Okay, I didn't want to say it, but I don't know what that man's name is who he's playing across. But boy, can he not act. Like, he is so annoying.
Yeah. I know what you need.
By comparison, Chris Hemsworth is Academy Award winning.
Yeah. You know, in the scene he's playing some kind of video game.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And then he has a sip of beer.
Yeah.
He swallows it.
Yeah, I believe it. I think everybody else went to the Year 10 school of bad drama acting.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth
didn't go to anything.
He's a notch above. And he's just a good Aussie bloke.
No, I'm scouting him.
Jesse, he also appeared on the Saddle Club.
Hello world, this is me. Life should be.
I needed to know this before right now.
As a rude vet.
Is that what it would have said in the script?
Kind of.
Okay.
His official name was Dr. George Whiteside. And basically his arc was that Stevie was like, my horse is sick.
I think that was the arc of the saddle. That was a lot of sick horses.
Yeah, so her horse, Belle, was sick. And he's like, nah, Belle's just not getting enough exercise. And everyone's like, nah, Belle's sick. Then the call girls think that Chris Hemsworth's character is really hot. So they call him back for non-emergencies. They're like, this horse is sick. And he's like, this horse is fine and you're wasting my time as a hot vet.
Emergency departments are for one thing only. Emergencies.
That's interesting that this preceded Bondi Vet.
I know. I know, it's almost like...
I wonder if Chris Brown has had this.
Chris Brown was like, this is my
calling. A lot of people
calling.
wasting his time with healthy pets.
Yeah. And then eventually there really is something wrong with Belle.
Oh, boy who cried wolf.
And he performs surgery and he saves it. Okay? Because he loves horses.
But so he's a rude vet because of his initial response.
Yep.
Interesting. Yep. Okay. So he really, I mean, this is premium Australian television.
Exactly. What I want to say to Chris Hemsworth is this. You're not too good for the Saddle Club or Home and Away, no matter how much Thor you Thor.
That is the most Australian response. You're not too good for us. Get back to the Saddle Club. No, it wasn't a great show. And he had to spread his wings. And I encourage and I applaud his greatness.
I don't know. I think he just thinks he's better than all of us.
No, he just is.
Jesse, Dancing with the Stars. Jess, years and years ago, we had a woman do work experience at Mamamia. Her name was Abby Ross. Do you remember her fun celebrity story?
She wasn't even out of the lift and we'd gotten this story out of her.
Yeah.
I danced alongside Chris Hemsworth on Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
She was the dancer.
She was Chris Hemsworth's dance partner on Dancing with the Stars.
Massive.
And she sat down. She said, I'm here to do work experience. And we said, yeah, you're going to need to write a story about that. Okay? Because that is
a four-parter.
Excellent content.
And in fact, a book.
She was a professional dancer.
Fascinating.
She was great. So in 2006, she's his dance partner on Dancing with the Stars. She was very, very talented.
Yes, as they always are.
But she put on the record that Chris Hemsworth, and I quote, is not a good dancer.
Wow.
Another quote, he was no good at dancing. Jesse, let's watch a clip. Okay.
It's hot, so I thought
I know.
Dancing the Foxtrot. Please welcome Chris Hemsworth and his partner Abby Ross to the floor.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in a sycamore tree.
He doesn't look that bad.
A little dream of
He is very stiff.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay. Okay. So the problem is when he dances. The first half of the particular dance, which I'm going to call the foxtrot because that's all it ever is.
No, I believe that actually was the foxtrot.
Okay, that's all it ever is. It is as though he is Thor's hammer. Like someone's given him the job and he's gone, I am hammer. And even when he dips her, it's like he's in hammer mode and he has no movement. And then at one stage, it demands that he do a move. And it's like, oh no, go back to hammer. Because even in the shot before, the thing you need to know about being a bad dancer, and I can speak from experience, is that don't try anything.
No.
Don't try anything new. Don't experiment.
Stick to what you've been told.
Don't imitate. What you need to do is you step to the left, you step to the right, and then the left again. Okay, you do a little sway. Do not move your arms. Do not move your hips. And do not try a little worm. Do not. You've just got to be very conservative and have a bit of self-awareness. I think he does have a bit of self-awareness, but he becomes much more unattractive when he tries to dance.
Yeah, the judge's commentary throughout the entire season was that he's far too stiff. And he's
just
got,
so stiff.
They said he's got the stiffest left arm they've ever seen.
Yeah,
and that's what it
agree.
is. He can't.
I agree.
He
doesn't look at her
up.
either because he's too stiff, because he's being the head of a hammer.
Yeah.
And he's like looking up at something else and it's like, yeah.
It's potentially worse when he tries to dance cool.
Yeah.
There are a couple of moments
where he tries a little
where
jig
you see
and it's
him,
like, no.
And you go, no, that's not it. After he was eliminated, he said, Abby turned me into a kind of okay dancer. I just wasn't born with the gift. So he knew.
He knew.
But Jess, his appearance on Dancing with the Stars almost cost him the role of Thor. Celebrity choreographer Derek Hoff said Chris Hemsworth was on Dancing with the Stars in Australia and he's dancing the samba. And they literally cast him, or they were going to cast him. And I think people called and said, yo, have you seen him dancing the samba? This cannot be our Thor.
Wow.
So what happened was he was cast for Thor.
And why? Just because he was so bad?
And then they came across clips of him dancing, like it had already aired, but they were like, oh my God, no.
Thor doesn't have to dance though.
No. They were like, it's the ick.
It's
the ick.
Now we've got the ick and can't have the ick.
And I think you're right, that they were like, this is less Thor and more Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Like you just haven't got the physicality.
No.
You're meant to be this cool Nordic brute, masculine thing, and what we're seeing is a weedy man who cannot dance.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
So it almost cost him the role. Now, just a couple of little facts we learnt from Abby, who wrote the piece for Mamamia about being Hemsworth's dance partner. She said, I'm confident he would still be able to recite every single word from the movie Point Break and never have any cash on him, so you're the one who has to shout him a coffee.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's just an interesting little tidbit. You know, he was
a stinge.
Home and away royalty, and he was stinging coffee off his dance partner.
What did he forget his wallet? Is he stingy or is he forgetful? Both are crimes.
Yeah. And then she said, he's also the person who taught me that if you want something, the only person who will stop you from getting it is yourself. She said he was quite inspirational to be around, that he's incredibly hardworking.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
That is fun. We'll link to that story in our show notes because it's just fun to look back.
Yeah, there's photos and stuff.
Yeah, great.
Jessie, ruining Byron Bay. The northern New South Wales town of Byron Bay has, according to many locals, been transformed from a beautiful coastal oasis into a tourist town. And a lot of that started when Chris Hemsworth and his absurdly beautiful family moved there in 2015. In 2021, there was a report about how long-time residents of Byron Bay hate the Hemsworths, especially Chris, who's made the area his permanent home due to the fact he's drawing more and more celebs and the baggage that comes with it.
You're allowed to move places.
Well, the problem is that he told all his friends. So aside from Chris, other celebrities who occasionally live or rent or own homes in Byron Bay include Zac Efron, Mark Wahlberg, Natalie Portman, Matt Damon, Nicole Kidman, Jack Johnson, Melissa McCarthy, just to name a few.
I like it. It makes me feel important.
Well, the Byron Bay locals don't like it. They say they're getting priced out and pushed out of a town they know is home.
But it's not Chris's fault.
Well,
I don't know how, but it's not Chris's fault. And this is what happens when a place is beautiful. And in that way, I'm going to victim blame. Because this is happening all around the world. People go, oh, I've found this little village in Italy that no one's discovered yet, and it's great, and it's just on the water, and it's coastal, and it's not touristy. Well, it is next year because you posted. And now this influencer went there, and she took a great photo in a cave. And now everyone wants a photo in the cave. And now it's not your little sanctuary anymore. Yes, that happened to Byron Bay, but Chris Hemsworth simply wanted to live in a beautiful place with his millions of dollars.
Well, the report referred to how Chris himself likes to live a very private, secluded life.
I can attest to that. I've looked for him, I can't find him.
Which locals say is rich, given he has invited the exact opposite into their lives.
It's not his fault that he's friends with Matt Damon.
By putting them on the map in all the worst ways possible. Now, the Hemsworth property is estimated to be worth around $30 million. I've heard it described as the size of a shopping centre. It's been branded obscene, greedy, flashy and vulgar by irate locals. Features 6 bedrooms, a gym, steam room, media room, games room, vast outdoor living and play areas, and a 50-metre rooftop infinity pool rumoured to have cost $400,000 alone.
Okay, it's extravagant and it's over the top. But, like, how does it affect the local... Like, if I'm just a local person living in Byron, I mean, the man next door can build the house he wants, just...
Well, some people say that it's driven the median house price up, but I'm like, so?
Well, and I know what they're saying about people not being able to get in there and own houses. But again, I'm not putting that on the shoulders of Thor. I'm not.
There is a lot of misinformation when it comes to Chris and what he does.
I'm so glad we're here to fix misinformation about Chris Hemsworth.
In Byron Bay, because there was a report, for example, there was this huge like water delivery to his property and like a big like tank of water or whatever. And they said that he was using like drinking water to water his garden.
Yeah.
And he posted on Instagram and he said, lies, that's drinking water. And he said,
maybe he just drinks a lot of water.
And he said everyone who lives in like a secluded area like this has to bring their own drinking water. And actually, the Hemsworths have been very good with solar and things of that nature.
Great.
Yes, they're very environmentally conscious. Jesse, in 2022, when the terrible reality show Byron Bays was released.
I hated that when I watched every episode.
There was uproar from the local community.
How are you settling in?
It's hard moving somewhere and not knowing anyone.
Breaking into our crew can be tough.
Shit's about to get interesting.
The girls haven't given her a chance.
I feel like I'm in high school again.
You got to stop causing beef between two guys.
This is not what Byron is about.
You are seriously insecure.
And a lot of residents were like, no, we already live in an exploited paradise, which is experiencing significant challenges driven by influencer culture and rapidly shifting demographics of residents.
Byron Bays, it's still a joke to even say. It's a complete misrepresentation and degradation of who we are as a community.
But you can't say that Chris Hemsworth and the Hemsworth effect did not have something to do with the idea for that reality show.
If I can draw a straight line between Chris Hemsworth and the creation of that show, that man is cancelled.
And that show was a crime. It was really bad.
It was really bad.
They weren't even proper influencers.
And I went, no, I don't believe this storyline. This is meant to be reality television, and I feel as though these are all a bunch of actors. Because that man was already in a reality show, Nathan.
And that man there, he bought his followers. And you know how I know? Daily Mail told me. So I don't believe
no,
that.
I wasn't invested in any of them.
Oh, here's a party and they're all going to meet and they all live in Byron Bay and we're all cool and live in Byron Bay.
No, and I'll say it again, where's Chris? If we're doing Byron Bays, okay, I'll go to dinner with Chris and Elsa and Matt and his wife. Absolutely. Melissa McCarthy's there. Those Byron Bays I'm here for. Those Byron Bays? No.
That was a reason to stay away.
Yeah, from Byron Bay.
Yeah. That was a really bad show.
Do you have a problem with me? What do you mean on the fucking train? It's a fucking joke.
Trash TV equals trash town.
Now, apparently Matt Damon approached 2 locals recently and said, "This is paradise here, you guys. You don't know what you've got." Matt, I think they do know what they've got, and you are encroaching.
You are encroaching.
And you're encroaching at the behest / encouragement of your friend Chris.
And the locals They had a thing going.
They aren't having it. They don't like it.
Yeah. It's really become very, very gentrified.
I like the pap photos where you see Elsa dropping the kids off to school.
And she's barefoot.
She's glowing. Jessie, a controversial birthday celebration. Earlier this year, the Hemsworth family were celebrating the birthday of the twins, Tristan and Sasha. They were turning 9.
Okay.
Chris shared this photo on Instagram. Jessie, what do you see?
I see the most beautiful children I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having a play. God, Elsa's beautiful, isn't she? Elsa is pushing down a child's face into a chocolate mud cake. Surprises me there's a chocolate mud cake in the Hemsworth house. Chris is looking like Thor in the background, watching on as his family plays a silly game. And really, I'm focused on the dog in the background that appears to be running towards what I'm going to say is a crumb or something that's been dropped in the kitchen. They've left the pantry open. If I had to guess the cancellation, it's hard because is it the dog? Is it that Chris Hemsworth is a step back from the family? I would say it's the potential suffocation of the child in the mud cake. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
So Chris Hemsworth captions this photo. Happy 9th birthday to my 2 little men. Only one way to eat cake in this house, and that's to have Mum slam your head into it face first. Hey, Mum, I don't like chocolate cake. I prefer vanilla. Oh, really, son? What about now? While some fans found the prank hilarious, others were quick to criticise the couple, calling the joke violent and ridiculous. These were some of the comments.
This is Save the Children. When they're talking about Save the Children,
this is
they
what
mean Chris Hemsworth, one of the twins who got too much chocolate on his face that day.
So one of the comments says, why people smash their kid's face in the cake is above my understanding, but whatever. Well, it's not whatever, but whatever. I just have to comment. Why do people think this is funny? Somebody else wrote, it is so violent. The other thing is, if you look really closely...
But I don't think that she has thrown his face into the cake. I think it's a bit of a joke.
If you look really closely, I don't even know how smooshed his face is into that cake. It could just be touching.
And you can tell with like Elsa's... I used to host a true crime podcast, and I can see from Elsa's fingers that there's not actual pressure coming down. It's more of a relaxed kind of touch, like almost she's posing for a photo.
Well, how about the child who's helping?
I mean, the other child might be getting carried away, but this is just a bit of children's fun.
I think this is also a little bit sensitive for reasons of COVID. A little bit COVID-y.
Oh, was this?
Yeah, because this was recent. I'm like, well, if we're going to shove someone's face in a birthday cake and then serve it up.
You don't want your COVID snot on your piece of cake.
No.
Especially when people are going, don't blow out the candles, you can get COVID on the cake.
Well, what if I...
Well, this man got his tonsils on your fork.
But I reckon they probably had a backup cake. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone else commented, in my country this is done, but it's very poorly looked upon because several accidents have already happened.
So Jessie, is it culturally insensitive? Maybe it's cultural appropriation.
I don't know, but what accidents?
Okay, I love playing this game. Okay.
Cake suffocation?
So yes. You get a candle lodged up your nose and into your brain.
Oh, no.
And then it has to be surgically removed.
Oh, no.
You get
what about cake in the eye?
Icing in your eye.
I don't think chocolate in the eye has ever been something a doctor has recommended.
No, you get too much cake in your windpipe and then you need to do the Heimlich maneuver.
One time when I was a kid, I was brushing my teeth and you knocked me and I had toothbrush to the eye. And it was called a cornea scratch.
Yeah.
I think you could scratch your cornea on a cake.
Yeah. All the injuries. That's what we should do with our time is we should write down all the potential injuries involved in any activity someone's enjoying. It's a really good way to live on the internet.
I think other people already do that.
Okay.
Don't worry, we don't have to. I also, you can't see the candles there. There could be 9, there could be 18, depending on how you celebrate your twins' birthday.
There were 18. There were. And now there's 5 down the windpipe, 2 up the nose,
orifices,
and a lot in the eyes, and 1 in the ear.
It is dangerous. This is a crime.
It is so dangerous.
Cake crime. Making flops when he's not being Thor. Sometimes Chris Hemsworth makes bad movies, such as Snow White and the Huntsman, and relatedly, The Huntsman, Winter's War.
Mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
You are the fairest, but there is another destined to surpass you.
What does she want from me?
Consume her heart, and you shall rule.
Who else was in those?
Kristen Stewart.
Oh, that's right.
She was distracted by her affair. About the Huntsman Winter's War, one reviewer criticised the on-screen chemistry between Hemsworth and Jessica Chastain. She was in there, stating that they're both struggling uphill against accents they're palpably not comfortable with, displaying zero chemistry, and frankly, appearing to be in different films. I love that when you watch a movie and you go, honestly, fine.
Yeah.
Different
films, agree.
He starred in a 2015 movie called Black Hat that got panned.
If we want clues to the hacker's identity, we need a man named Hathaway.
What do we know about this guy?
He's a convicted hacker serving 15 years at MIT. Genius coder.
I want you to commute my sentence for identification and the apprehension of the guy you're after. Those are the terms.
Now, the synopsis is that after a Hong Kong nuclear plant and the mercantile trade exchange in Chicago are hacked by unknown perpetrators, a federal agent, played by Viola Davis, proposes that the FBI work with China to find the cybercriminals.
There's just a lot going on.
The leader of the Chinese team, Chen Dewey, insists that convicted hacker Nick Hathaway, played by Chris Hemsworth.
No. He's not a convincing hacker. Come on.
Be released from prison to help with the investigation.
So your muscles don't help with hacking.
Now, people say the movie's terrible for many reasons.
Yep.
But the number one reason is Chris Hemsworth as a hacker is the worst
It's
casting.
like, do you think that hacking involves prying open laptops with your hands? Because he's a very strong man.
Yeah.
He's Thor. He's got his hammer. But he does not look like a man who spent a lot of time inside hacking.
No, too tanned.
He's too tanned.
One reviewer wrote, anyone who makes their way in the world sitting in front of a computer screen all day is not going to look as hunky as Hemsworth.
His posture's too good.
His posture is like, we look like people who spend our time behind
really
computers.
Convincing.
Yeah. Somebody else said, Hemsworth himself later admitted he didn't like his own performance.
Right.
He said, I didn't enjoy what I did in the film. It just felt flat, and it was also an attempt to do what I thought people might have wanted to see, but I don't think I'm good in that space. It's okay. You're better with your hammer.
Yeah.
That's okay. Some of the reviews for that movie said, Black Hat is perfect if you're suffering from insomnia. Black Hat is a difficult movie to understand. And Black Hat is a sparkless cyber thriller in which Chris Hemsworth's most worthy adversary is a shirt with buttons as he constantly fights a losing battle to keep them fastened.
Yeah. And the more he dives, the bigger the biceps get. They're just exploding out of the shirt. And he's like, I honestly can't type anymore.
It's great
I've got
exercise.
cramps.
Great exercise. So, Jessie, as Thor, Chris Hemsworth is critically acclaimed. He's made a lot of money. Do you know how he got that role? Well, let him tell you.
I auditioned for Thor many years ago, probably 11, 12 years ago, and I didn't get a call back. I think my audition sucked. I think that was the response I got. And then my younger brother auditioned, and he got very close. He got down to the last 5 people, and then didn't get it. And they were like, look, he's great, but he's a bit young. My manager then said, well, he does have an older brother, which was me. I came back in, re-auditioned a few times, and just had a different attitude. Maybe I had a little more sort of motivation that my little brother had got to look in and I hadn't.
That's how you got your spot on Mamamia Out Loud. Because I couldn't be there and they just went, we need someone similar. Not as good, that's not possible, but someone similar vibe who's available.
And I said,
I'm here.
And I said, I'm not many things, but what I am is available.
And I'm here. And you don't need to change the art.
No.
You've just got to be there at the right time. When you've got talented siblings, if you're close enough and you're available, good things can happen.
Things can happen. What a good message for everyone. Jessie, it's time for charges and sentences. Jessie, my charge. This is one of those times where it was a rainy day.
Yeah, no, it was.
And
Just because you've never done anything wrong doesn't mean you shouldn't be put on trial.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't go to court.
No.
And we have unlocked some crimes.
Yes.
You could look at cake abuse.
The impaling of candles.
The impaling of candles.
That was a really serious
And
one.
abuse through the use of cake.
Uh-huh.
And you could argue, if you're a different jury, you could say prison.
Yeah, you could. Different jury, different day, death sentence.
And you could say he should go to a special prison for cake abusers.
Yep.
Well, abusers.
Yep.
People will say, what are you in for? We'll say, yeah, I used cake as a weapon. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm not that jury.
Okay.
My charge, and you may have sensed this from my tone.
Okay.
My charge is success.
Yeah. Yeah, you seem resentful about that.
Tall poppy on my end. So I say, I'm charging him with having flown from the very small nest of Australia and really made it
somewhere
overseas.
Else. Australians don't like that.
My sentence, keep at it. You're all good.
Wow.
You're all good, mate. You didn't do nothing wrong.
Oh, wow.
You didn't do nothing wrong.
It's not what I found.
Okay.
My charge, and I looked at the cake and I went, that was pretty serious. But then I remembered that I was in Byron Bay recently and I paid $7.20 for a coffee.
Oh, wow.
I am charging Chris with inflation.
$7.20
for a coffee. I don't even think it was a big one. I think it was a mistake. I think they put the wrong number in the thing. But then I walked into a shop and I went, well, I want to look like Elsa with a flowy top on.
And did you try something on and it was $700?
It was a $550 shirt.
Mm-hmm. I've done that in Byron, yeah.
And it was a set.
Yeah.
I was like, what? In what universe?
Mm-hmm.
It's no. I want to look like Elsa and she looks boho chic.
I think soon
boho chic can't cost you that much. It's meant to be cheap.
Soon I reckon they'll start charging you to get in the water.
Oh, it was just out of control. I went, I can't afford this holiday. And my accommodation, I mean, all of it's increased.
Mm-hmm.
So my sentence is, this is unrelated and it's petty and it's a little rude, but that coffee was expensive and it's try and act without your hammer.
Yeah. Okay. Try and act without your hammer.
And maybe he can.
Yeah.
But do we know he can?
Well, I do believe he needs a prop. Because in Rush, which he is excellent in, he's a race car driver.
So he always needs okay. So maybe Rush was him without a hammer. Maybe he had it in his pocket.
No. I think the car was the replacement for the hammer.
But maybe he had a hammer in his pocket.
May also have had a hammer in his pocket. I'd love an accent. That's often our sentence for actors. Give me an accent, any accent.
And then we'll hear the accent, we'll put him on trial. It's a terrible Russian accent.
Exactly.
For example. But I think play on.
Jesse, that's all we've got time for on today's episode of Cancel.
One of our best, they say. They said this was one of our best.
This episode was produced by Talissa Bazaz.
With audio editing by Thom. If you have a lazy girl story, then you can send them through to our email, which is podcast@mamamia.com.au. We love to receive them. Give us 5 stars. Say why you love us. We love all that. Rate and subscribe. I'm eating a snack now. All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.